Hi, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Place, Manner, Voice. I am Catherine. I am going to transcribe a word for you today. I just used a random word generator today. Let's do a longer one. Volunteer, volunteer, volunteer. Let's open our bracket to show we are now transcribing into IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet. This first sound, v, v. The English spelling is really the same as the IPA symbol. V. Now, this sound can be difficult for some non-native English speakers. If you are a native Russian, Ukrainian, Hindi, Bengali, Marathi, Malayalam, what is the other family of languages that have challenges with this one? Oh, Spanish. If you are a native speaker of any of those languages, I want you to look at the English version of V. V. It is different than your V. In those languages, we use this symbol for your V. And there is less friction in the air for your version of V. So it sounds more like the, which really annoyingly, native English listeners hear as a w. You're not saying w, but that's what they hear. Pretty frustrating. So I'd like you to take a look at the English, like the mechanics, the physics of the English version of V. Volunteer. Ah, va, ah, ah, ah. I'm going to use that low back vowel, the ah vowel. Sometimes I call it the lot vowel. Vol, vol, ol. That is an L, so we're putting our tongue up behind our teeth and letting the air, so if this is our tongue, it's touching right behind our front teeth. There's our teeth. This is looking from above. And it's touching right here, and the air is escaping out of our mouth to the left and right of our tongue. Ooh, ooh. I could transcribe this with a little squiggle over it, a little tilde. I'm not going to for this because I'll just do broad transcription, but if I was doing a narrow transcription, I could put that. But that might be for another video. Volunteer, lun. I'm going to use a schwa there. Lun. Oh, I made that so high. Oh, that should be lower. Why did I make that so high? Let's put that down on the line. Volun. That's not bad. That's not bad. Volun. Volun. I'm not saying volun or volun. Volun. Lun. Volunteer. E. Er. So in North American English, we use a lot of what we call rhotic vowels. Rhotic. Rhotic. And it really just means vowel plus R sound. And this is one of them. Ear, ear. And it really does sound like ear. Like I hear you with my ear, ear. That is how we transcribe that ear sound. Ear. Volunteer, volunteer. Now, I have a 3-syllable word here. 1, 2, 3 vowel sounds. So I know it's 1, 2, 3 syllables, which means I have to put in my primary stress marker. So volunteer, volunteer. I'm going to say the stress is at the end. It's always going to be at the end. So if we have like a contour map of this sound, of this word, we need like volunteer. And that stress is always going to be there for that word. If we don't change it at all, it's going to be there. It's baked in. It's the factory settings of this word. So I'm going to put my primary stress marker before that syllable, before the T, which is the first sound in that syllable. Dividing syllables is a little bit of a challenging job, but if you want me to do a video on it, I can. It's an interesting puzzle to find which which, where to divide syllables, basically. Another clue as to why the stress is at the end here. Do you hear that T sound? Listen when I say it again. Volunteer, volunteer. Do you hear how it's a really sharp, loud T sound with a little puff of air? T, t, t. I would transcribe it like that. So really, if I wanted to, like just like I put the O down for that one, I could have used an aspirated T there. But I'm just kind of doing a broad transcription here, so this is getting a little into more detail that we might not need. It is useful to know about, but for today, we'll just do this. Volunteer, volunteer. Woo! Okay, that's a little bit of a longer one. 6 minutes, holy cow. This one's really long. Thanks. If you're still here, thanks for watching. Don't be shy to ask questions about any elements of this transcription or any word in North American English. I would be happy to transcribe it for you.